Hello, I am back with another craft and chat video for you guys. If this is your first craft and chat, basically I'm just going to be crafting and chatting about a specific topic. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about swaps. So I have gotten so many private messages and comments and questions about swaps, how they work, how to get in them, how to find them, what's the proper etiquette, all that good stuff. There are definitely some videos out there about swaps. So I'm going to share, my thoughts, opinions, experiences with you guys. But if you are looking for other perspectives, be sure to search online because there are several out there where crafters sort of talk about swaps from their perspective. So, you can definitely look and see there are quite a few out there. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is talk about what is a happy mail swap and just sort of define what we're talking about, and we'll go from there. I do have some notes over here to help me stay focused because I do have a lot of information to share with you. So if I need to pause the video, bear with me so that I can make sure I cover everything. Also, today I'm going to be crafting with the Tim Holtz rosette die. I'm going to be making some rosettes, and as I'm making them, I'll try to share a couple little tips with you guys too about how I sort of speed up the process. Although I probably am not going to be very speedy right now because I'm going to be talking while crafting and sometimes I get distracted. Okay, so what is a swap? This is basically where people exchange like letters, packages, some kind of mail with each other. And it focuses on spreading happiness or positivity or cheering people up or just bringing some kind of joy into someone else's life. The goal is basically to brighten someone's day. So that's the whole purpose of a swap. It's to enjoy the process, to, send out some happy mail and make somebody happy, basically. And then because it's a swap, you're getting something in return. So then your day in turn is going to be brightened when you get your package in the mail and you can see what someone has created for you. We all love to get mail, especially when it's happy mail. Okay, so a swap is when you exchange letters, packages with each other. Okay, happy mail or a rack, which stands for random act of kindness. This is where you send some mail, but you don't expect anything in return. Okay, so you're sending happy mail. You'll typically see this like around holidays or birthdays. People will send a rack. You can send boo mail at Halloween time. And you're not expecting anything back. You're just sending it. You've made some stuff or you have something that you want to send someone to just brighten their day. It's considered a random act of kindness. Or maybe at Christmas time, or even if it's someone's birthday, you might just send them some kind of package to, let them know you're thinking of them and that, you created something that you wanted to send off to someone else. Okay? So that's the difference between a swap and a happy mail. Swap is you get something in return. A happy mail is you don't expect anything in return. Now, sometimes when you receive happy mail, you may decide that you want to send someone a gift. That's called response mail. That's when you send someone something in response to what they have sent you. But I think it's probably best practice to not expect anything in return if you're sending happy mail. Okay, so what are the different types of swaps? Okay, so first of all, you have a one-on-one swap. This is where you partner up with another person and the two of you decide what you're going to swap with each other. You work out the details with each other. It's not usually sponsored by someone else, although it can be. Sometimes people will host one-on-one swaps, and basically they sort of do the work of pairing you with someone and coming up maybe with the terms of the swap. But a lot of times one-on-one swaps are not sponsored by someone, and it's just two people getting together and deciding, hey, let's swap. Now, how do you find someone to swap with? Well, again, you can if someone is sponsoring it, then you sign up for their swap. If someone is not sponsoring it and you're just looking for someone to swap with, a lot of times people will post in their Instagram stories, hey, I'm looking for a swap partner for Halloween. Does anybody want to swap with me? And that's a great way to find a swap partner. Okay. Typically, these one-on-one swaps can be more personalized because you know who you're sending the mail to, and so you can include things that that specific person would love. A lot of times they include more items because you're only sending one package. So typically you'll do like a medium flat rate box and fill it full, or you'll do like a 3D project or something that just takes a little more time than other swaps because you're only making one. Typically the swaps are more in depth. Okay. Let's see. Group swap is another type of swap. And this is where there is a host and they create the groups. So they will post online, hey, I'm hosting a group swap and here are the requirements. And if you want to sign up, then you can do XYZ and then you'll be in my group swap and you'll send all your packages to me because I'm the host, and then I will trade the packages out and send you however many you get in return. So a lot of times the swaps can be like make 2, receive 2, and so they're going to send you 2 packages in return. Now, sometimes you know who your partner is going to be in group swaps, and sometimes you don't. I would say recently, it seems like more of the swaps are blind, meaning you don't know whose package you're going to receive in return, which is kind of fun because then it's a surprise when you get the mail back and you don't know what you're getting. I think a while ago when I first started crafting this, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, it seemed like you were paired up with partners, but I think a lot of people have gone to blind swap ideas. And I'll talk more about why that is in just a minute. Okay. So yeah, in a group swap, you send the items to the host, they swap everything out, and then they mail the packages out to the recipients. Okay. Now, let's talk about open versus private swaps, okay? Open swaps are where the host posts an opportunity on social media and participants can sign up. So, let's say I'm hosting a swap, I'm going to post a video on YouTube, and then anybody who wants to sign up can. There might be some stipulations, like if I say it's US only, or if you have to be 18 and up, or maybe you have to have an Instagram channel or something like that. But for the most part, it's open to the public and people can sign up. And once, a specific amount of positions or spots have been filled, then I'll close the swap. And that's an open swap. A private swap is where the host reaches out to specific people and asks them if they want to join a swap. So this is the type of swap that I prefer because I have a pretty busy schedule, and while I love hosting swaps, I just don't always have time. And so if I'm going to host a swap, it's going to be very small. And, maybe like 10 or 15 people. And so, I don't want to open up a swap and make it public for me to only say, okay, well, only, 10 people can join. Well, that's going to fill up very quickly. And then what about all the other people who wanted to join? So it's not really giving a lot of opportunity. So I like to host private swaps where I just pick specific crafters that I've swapped with before and say, hey, I'm hosting a swap. Do you want to join? And, I never really post it online as an opportunity for people to join because it just helps me keep it smaller and more manageable. And I don't get overwhelmed with too many packages to swap out. Okay, so there is open versus private. Okay, let's talk about what a host does. So if you're hosting a swap, what is your role? So a host is somebody who organizes and coordinates the swap. I'm going to move something real quick. Give me just a second. Sorry. Okay, so a host is somebody who coordinates and organizes the swap. They set the parameters, the due date, the requirements, the theme. For group swap, typically video reveals. They'll post like online. Once someone's swap comes in, they'll typically do a video reveal on their YouTube channel and unbox everything and, you know, ooh and ah over all the creativity of the swap that's come in. And they will swap everything out once all the packages have been received. They will partner everybody up and, you know, package everything and pack it all up into the boxes and send it out to all the participants. What are the benefits of being a host? First of all, you get to set the parameters. You get to decide. You're kind of the one in charge. You get to see all the swaps up close and in person. Seeing something on video versus seeing it in person are two very different things. In person, you really can't match that. You see all the little intricate details of something that someone's created. And I will tell you, it's A, very inspiring, and B, very educational. You learn so much just from seeing someone's work close in your hands. And then you get to boost your social media account, right? So you're sharing these swaps online, and people are tuning in because everybody wants to see what cute thing somebody created. And so therefore you might be gaining some followers or views on your channel. You might also be gaining views and followers for people who want to join the swap. Maybe they weren't following you before, but now because you're hosting, they have decided to subscribe to your channel. And so you're bringing in people to view what you've got going on. Sometimes people who participate in the swap will send the hostess a gift, some kind of host gift, or sometimes they'll make them a whole swap. And again, we'll talk about that in just a second. That is one perk of hosting the swap. Somebody has to do it. I will tell you, hosting, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's very fun to host a swap. It's also a lot of work. And until you host one, you probably don't realize how much work it actually is. It may seem very easy and straightforward from, you know, just someone on the outside looking in. But once you host a swap, you're like, wow, there is a lot that goes into it. And so I am always very grateful to anyone who hosts a swap. And very thankful that they have taken on that very time-consuming role. And, you know, that's why we typically send a hostess gift, is because as a thank you for hosting the swap, right? Because it's something that not everyone wants to do. You'll notice it's usually the same few people who are hosting swaps. And so it's really nice when they do. And, you know, we all kind of, I wouldn't say we all have to take a turn, but I'm just very thankful when somebody does take a turn, because that means that we all get to participate, we all get to have fun, and they've taken on a very time-consuming task, and I'm always very grateful and thankful, and so I try to do what I can to appreciate that. Now, hosts will sometimes participate in the swap if they think they have time, if it's something that they really love. Maybe they're hosting a swap and they're like, this is just going to be so much fun. I really want to participate. And so they'll create one of the projects and swap out with somebody who's playing along. But it's not required for a host to participate in the swap. In fact, most hosts do not participate, because being an actual host is a lot of work, and you don't typically also have time to make a whole swap or make a couple of swaps even, and participate in that way, along with organizing the swap and all of that good stuff, okay? Because, you know, when a swap comes in, you have to be very organized and keep track of whose swap is what. You have to make room for all the boxes that are come in. Let's say you're hosting a swap and it has 25 people in it. Well, 25 medium-sized boxes are coming to your house, and you now have to have room to store those 25 boxes until it's time to swap them out and mail them out to people. Usually you film some kind of reveal video. So now you're going to film 25 YouTube videos unboxing the swaps that were sent. And if people did not send you a swap, then you have to repackage those swaps after you've unboxed them and try to make them look like they did when they first came to you. And then you've got to put everyone together, match them up with who's getting what, and then you've got to make double, triple, quadruple sure that you've sent everybody the right swaps in the right boxes to the right address, and that you got everybody's money. It's a lot to coordinate. I promise you, you don't realize until you actually start swapping how much work it actually is. But it is rewarding work. Like I said, there are definitely some benefits to hosting, but it is a lot of work. You know, it's not something that's quick and easy, and we should just all be very thankful for hosts, because it's very nice of them to take that on so that we can all have fun and swap happy mail. Okay, let's talk about the parts of a swap. But before we do that, I just want to talk about this for a second. So if you're making rosettes, a little tip and trick that I have that I wanted to share is that when you're gluing the rosettes together, to use a paper clip to hold them together while they dry. So, you know, this is the Tim Holtz one, and so you just glue the ends together basically. So you're going to put a little glue here on the edge. And, you know, I could sit here and hold this forever, or I can just take a little paper clip and slide it on there, and that's going to hold it closed until it dries. And then once it's dry, I can take the paper clip off, and that way I can make a whole bunch quickly and I don't have to sit and wait for them to dry before I start making the next one. Does that make sense? So hopefully that's a tip that might help. Okay, back to swaps. Okay, so sign-ups. The parts of a swap. First of all, you're going to sign up. So usually you sign up through social media platform, YouTube, Instagram. People always ask me, how do I find swaps? I want to join some, but I don't know where to look. Okay, well, first of all, I would recommend that you go on YouTube and you search group swap, and you find YouTubers who host group swaps often. Okay, there are certain ones who host them, and they host them, you know, maybe they host like 3 or 4 every year, or even more than that. And start following those people and paying attention, because when there is a opportunity to sign up for a swap, they'll post it on their YouTube channel, and then you can sign up on their video. Instagram, same thing. Find people who are hosting swaps on Instagram, search the hashtag group swap, happy mail swap, something like that. And start following those people who host swaps. They're going to be posting pictures of their swaps. They're going to be posting announcements of the swaps. So be looking for those things and start following those people so that it pops up in your feed when they are hosting. Also, there are Facebook groups that will post swaps. There are Facebook groups specifically for Happy Mail swaps. You can join some of those. I personally am not in any of those, so I can't really speak to how like what they're like, but I do know that they're out there and that people do host and organize swaps in those Facebook groups. So that might be an option as well. Once you find a Happy Mail swap, okay, then you are going to want to sign up, okay? And how that works depends on the host and the swap. So sometimes there'll be a set number. You know, I'm taking 25 people. The first 25 to comment on this video will be, you know, signed up. Or the first 25 people to message me will be signed up, okay? Whatever, however they're doing it. I've noticed lately that a lot of people are hosting swaps where you don't sign up. There's no sign up required. You can just, if you decide to participate, you mail in the swap. If you don't participate, no big deal. And that's nice too. So you just need to pay attention to how exactly do you become involved in the swap, and what is the sign up. And again, that's going to vary depending on who's hosting it, and you know, what are their requirements, and they'll let you know. The second thing you want to look at is what is the theme. There's usually some kind of theme for every swap. Typically, they'll revolve around seasons or holidays, but there can be other types of swaps too. You know, maybe there's a, I don't know, I can't think of anything at the moment. I don't know. There's a cat in the hat swap. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. I think there was a children's book swap recently. So there'll be swaps. There'll be some kind of theme. Usually, though, you're going to see them coincide with seasons or holidays. But again, not always. You'll want to pay attention to whatever the assignment is. The host will either partner you with somebody for a one-on-one swap, or it might be some kind of blind swap where you don't know who you're being partnered with until you receive the swaps back. Or it could be a group swap where lots of people are participating and then everything's just going to be mixed up randomly. It just kind of depends, okay? Again, typically I see a lot of group blind swaps where you just send it into the hostess and then they mix it up and then they send you something back and you don't know who you're getting back. Requirements, the host will specify some exact requirements of the swap, what needs to be created and how many. Be sure to follow those requirements closely, okay? I cannot express to you how important it is that you follow the requirements 100%, and that you also pay attention to whatever the deadline is. So the host will give you a deadline of either when they need to receive the swap or when the swap must be postmarked. You also need to pay attention to how many swaps you need to make. Is it make 2, receive 2, make 1, receive 1, make 3, receive 3? What specifically, how many swaps are you making? Okay. That's all I'm going to say on that for right now. So you've got, the sign up, the theme, the assignment, the requirements, and then the creation. So once you signed up and you check out the requirements, then you're ready to start creating. The participants make the crafty embellishments, projects, etc., whatever the requirements are, and then they fit the requirement, make sure that it fits the requirements exactly. You want to send in your absolute best work. Okay, do not send something in that you are not 100% proud of. This is your opportunity to show other crafters your best work. And I'm going to tell you, people are watching and they want to swap with people who create high quality work that they've put time and effort into. And if you are not doing that and you're sending in things that were clearly made quickly without much thought or effort, people aren't going to want to swap with you. Okay. So, all crafters are at different levels. We all start somewhere. Not everyone is an expert crafter, but you can tell when someone's put time and effort into something and when they haven't. And so, whatever your crafting ability or skill is, your work just needs to show effort. Okay. Receiving. Other participants will receive the swap packages that you made, and you will receive the swap packages that they made. It's usually expected that you will either post pictures of what you received on your social media account, or that you'll post an unboxing video. Okay. You need to do one of those two things. So someone took time and effort to create something for you, and you need to thank them for that by sharing either a photo online somewhere, whatever social media account you have, or doing an unboxing video, whatever you're comfortable with. If for some reason you don't have any social media where you're posting anything for some various reason, then you need to at least send them a message to let them know that you received their swap and that you thank them for the swap that they sent. Okay. Don't stay quiet. People want to know who received their items, and they want to see that, that you got it. Okay. Don't forget to tag the person and thank the host and the participants who swapped that you received. People want to see your reaction to their hard work and that they have put into the swap. So part of the fun of the swap is signing up, right? That's fun. You're like, oh, that's exciting. And then you're creating the swap, and that's super fun. And then you mail it off, and that's super fun. And then you receive your swap, and that's really fun. But another part that's really fun is watching somebody else open something that you created, and or posting a photo and gushing about it on line or whatever. So be sure that you are being appreciative of the things that people have sent you. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the benefits of hosting. Now we're going to talk about the benefits of participating. So why do people want to participate in swaps? First of all, this gives you an opportunity to stretch your creativity. Okay, typically the host will come up with the requirements of the swap, and sometimes the requirements are things that you've never made before, you never thought about making before. Maybe they're having you create a specific project that you've never done or use a specific technique that you've never done. Some things that I have done for the first time through swaps are I created these beaded candy canes that I had never made before, that I probably never would have even tried without being a part of the swap that required them. I've made specific 3D projects like loaded pockets and specific kinds of albums where they wanted you to use a specific tutorial. Lots of different types of techniques and things that kind of stretch your creativity. I made a 3D house once that I had never made anything like that. Probably never would have done it on my own, but it was a requirement from the swap, so it let me sort of grow in my skills and learn something new and try something different. Okay. Let's see. It gives you happiness to see others opening your items. Okay, so not only is it fun to create the items, but I'm going to tell you it's really good feeling when you see someone open your package and they get super excited about something that you made for them or something that you sent them. It feels good to sort of bring a smile to someone's face. So that is a benefit. You get to see the work of others up close and personal. Again, same thing as sort of being a host. I can't tell you how many things I have seen holding them in my hand that someone else created that I was like, oh, that's how you do that. Or, oh, wow, that looks really cool up close. Or I never would have thought to do that. And because I had participated in the swap and I received something in my hands, I was able to experience it in a different way than just looking at it online. Okay, even a video isn't going to do a project justice. Okay, seeing it up close and in person is the best way, right? To look at someone else's work and to learn from them. You get a bunch of fun stuff in the mail, right? Who doesn't love mail? You get whatever the person you swapped with has sent you. You get, whatever goodies they have sent that they created and or just mailed to you for fun. And plus, you get happy mail to open. Who doesn't love to get a package in the mail? And it helps you build your social media account. People are going to be tuning in to your channel, to your feed, whatever, to see what you're posting. And if you are posting videos of things that you have received, other people who didn't even participate in the swap are going to be checking out your channel. But then also people who did participate in the swap are going to be checking out your channel to see if you received their swap, or to see what you received or what your reaction was, or whatever the case is. Okay, so there are lots of benefits to participating. And, really there are so many parts of the swaps that are fun. Like I said, it's fun to sign up. It's fun to create this stuff. It's fun to mail it off. It's fun to receive your package. It's fun to watch someone else open up the package that you sent them. It's just sort of the gift that keeps giving. So, there's a lot of benefits to it. Really fun, sort of activity, I guess, for us to create camaraderie and support each other. Okay, some helpful tips and tricks, some things I want to talk about. First of all, if you are wanting to participate in swaps, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you have an active social media account, okay, where you post pictures of your crafty work. I don't see this as much today, but when I first started crafting, a lot of swaps, you couldn't participate unless you had an active social media account. And the reason for that is, A, they want to know that you are actively crafting all the time and that you're not going to skip out on the swap, which we'll talk about that in just a second. And then second of all, they want to know that you're going to be posting pictures or videos of what you received, right? You're going to sort of keep the fun going. It's not very fun to send someone something and then they don't say thank you or post a video or post a picture or anything. then, that happy part of the swap sort of, doesn't get fulfilled. So if you're wanting to participate in swaps, you need to set up a social media account where you are posting your projects, whatever projects you're creating, so that people can see your work and that you sort of get a little bit of a following going. Okay. Here's a tip. This might be controversial, but I'm going to tell you, this is what I have learned from watching other people's swap videos. Always send more than what's required. You don't want to be the person who doesn't send enough or who sends just the bare minimum. Always send more than what is required. Now, don't get excessive, right? Too much, there is such a thing as sending too much stuff. But, if it calls for 2 rosettes, maybe send 3. If it calls for, making 5 items, maybe make 6. Okay. It's always better to send too much stuff than not enough. And I don't know, it's just one of those unwritten, social norms that I don't want to say you're supposed to send more than what's required, but again, it's one of those unspoken social norms of swapping. Again, this may be controversial because some people may not agree with me, but after watching a lot of swap videos and participating in a lot of swaps, you should send more than what's required. Okay, so whatever is required, just send a little bit extra. It doesn't have to be excessive, but at the same time, don't expect that everyone is going to do that, because they're not. First of all, there are some people who don't believe you should do that, and second of all, there are people who don't know about that unwritten or unexpressed social norm. Okay, so don't get upset if the person who swaps with you just sends the requirements and only the requirements. But I've seen so many videos where people are like, oh, I didn't send enough stuff, or, I forgot this one thing, or whatever. If you send extra, then that kind of makes up for anything you accidentally forgot. Or if the person you're swapping, what if the person you're swapping with sends you a ton of stuff and then you only sent the bare minimum, and now you're feeling bad because you feel like you didn't send enough to them. That's a terrible feeling, to feel like you didn't send enough stuff. So as a rule of thumb, I personally always send more than what's required. I try not to get too crazy with it. There are some times where I really, really enjoy the swap and I'm just making stuff like crazy and I'm like, yeah, I'll just throw that in there. But I don't ever expect the swaps that I receive to have more than what's required, because again, not everybody feels that way, and some people may not even know. This may be their very first swap and they have no clue. So yeah, but I do just want to throw that out there, okay? Because I did learn that pretty quickly after like the first 2 swaps that I participated in. Okay, let's see. You should always, this is also probably a controversial tip. In my opinion, you should always send some kind of hostess gift. Okay, now that can be totally up to you, whatever you want to send. It could just be a pack of stickers. It could be, a little goodie bag of stuff. Or it could be a whole swap. To me, if you're making the hostess their own swap, that is a hostess gift. But you need to send the hostess something. I've seen people send like a little $5 Starbucks gift card. I've seen people send a pack of stickers. I've seen people send a little goodie bag. I've seen people send them like a full-on one-on-one swap, large box full of items. I mean, that's probably excessive. And most of the time, though, you see people... Excuse me, I had a cough. You see people making a full swap for the hostess, okay? And we're going to talk about why that is. I want to make sure I don't have it in my notes later. So typically, you'll see people making a full swap for the hostess, because the hostess is going to, I would say, 9.9 times out of 10, they're going to do some kind of reveal YouTube video. So you're going to send them your swap in a group swap, and they're going to do some kind of reveal video, which means that they have to take the whole swap apart and look at everything, take it all out of the bag, take everything out of the packaging and show it on their YouTube channel. And then if you didn't make a swap for them, then they have to try to package it all back up exactly the way that it was before. I have seen YouTubers, hostesses, not open packages because it would be too hard to package it all back up the way that it was before. And I totally understand. As somebody who's hosted before, I have had to package some things up, and sometimes it was really hard, and I didn't get it exactly right, and I felt kind of bad because I was like, well, they had it packaged so cute, and then, you know, maybe the string broke or something while I was trying to unbox it, and, you know, I'm trying to, like, make it look cute again with what was provided, and it's really difficult. So a lot of times people will send the hostess a full-on swap just because it's easier on them to do the reveal videos for YouTube, okay? And it's, you know, it's a nice gesture, a nice thank you, you know, for hosting. You know, I made a swap for you to keep. I will say that sometimes you will see hosts ask you not to do that. So if a host asks you not to send them a full swap, obviously don't send them a full swap. Sometimes they don't want that because it can be a lot. If you're hosting a swap with 25 people, now you have 25 swaps that you just received, and that can be very overwhelming. Where am I going to put all of these handmade items, all of these goodies that were sent to me? Especially, you know, most of us were already busting at the seams in our craft room. And now we have all of these handmade items, and people spend a ton of time on these things, and we want to display them and enjoy them. That's a lot of stuff, especially if you host maybe, you know, 4 or 5 swaps a year. That can really add up very quickly. So sometimes hosts will ask you not to send them full swaps. Instead, they may suggest other things that you could send if you want to do a host gift. Sometimes hosts will say that sending a full swap to the host is not required but appreciated. Okay. Which again means exactly what it says. They're not going to require you to do it, but if you choose to do it, they do appreciate it. Again, because it is easier to film the reveal videos if you can unbox, you know, something that you don't have to repackage, right? I can unbox what you've sent, and then I don't have to worry about making it look all cute again to send to somebody else. Okay. And then let's see. Some other tips and tricks. Label your swap packages with your name and social media account, okay? I'm going to share a little tip with you. So, if you, it's really nice when people have these little labels on the stuff that they've made, or at least the bag that they're putting everything in. Because me, as the hostess, I may not know who created this unless I look at the cardboard box that you sent everything in. And whoever I'm sending it to, whoever your swap partner is, won't know who it's from if you don't put some kind of label on it, right? A tag where you handwrite it, or you put a little sticker or something like that. So something that you can do is just print your own little labels like this. You can print these on sticker paper. That's what a lot of people do. They get sticker paper, they print it out, and they are good to go. I didn't have any sticker paper, and I wanted to make some little labels. So I did kind of a different way. I just printed them on regular paper. I took this large double-sided tape and just rolled it out. Oh, hold on. Got things falling over here. I just rolled it out onto the back of the paper where I printed these labels, and then I cut them into little squares. Okay, and you can see here on the back there's the tape. So that now when I'm ready to use the label, I just peel this paper off, and it's sticky, and I now have a label. So if you don't have any, you know, labels that you can print on, you can also use your double-sided tape to make that work as well. So that's a little tip and trick if you need some labels, okay? But whatever you're sending in, label it for the person who's receiving your swap and label it for the hostess. It makes their life so much easier, okay? Let's see. If you are hosting or doing an unboxing video, this is so important. If you are hosting or doing an unboxing video, do not share the person's address or personal private information online, okay? This is so important. You're getting a box from somebody. For instance, if they send a memory dex card and it has their address on it, don't share that in a YouTube video or in a photo on Instagram. Respect people's privacy. That can be a safety issue. I know personally, if before I sign up for a swap, I check that person's YouTube channel and make sure that they don't do that when they open boxes. Because I don't want my address shared all across social media. And so I know that that's important to people. It's really important. Make sure that the label doesn't accidentally show. I've filmed a whole video before and accidentally showed someone's address on the back of a memory dex and then started completely over or had to edit that part out because it's that important. Okay, so do not show someone's private information on social media. Respect their privacy. They're trusting you with that private information. Don't share it to your 3,000 followers on Instagram or YouTube. Okay. Let's see. If you're signing up for swaps, another tip, be very quick. If there is a limited number, they will go quickly. And I will tell you, the people who host swaps who are very popular and have lots of followers, their swaps go very fast. And if you don't sign up quick, you're going to miss a spot. There have been many swaps where I knew they were coming up and I was like, oh, I'm totally going to sign up for that person's swap. And I missed the sign up time because I forgot or whatever, or I didn't know when it was and, missed it. And I was totally bummed out because, now I don't get to participate in that swap. There were only 25 spots and I, was too slow. So if you are wanting to sign up for a swap and there are limited spots, make sure that you are, on the ball so that you can sign up quickly. Keep time management in mind. Don't sign up for swaps that you're not going to have time for. Things come up. Stuff happens. I've had to drop out of a swap or two before for various reasons. Personal things that I could not control that were completely unforeseen. But if you know you're not going to have time, don't sign up. The worst thing is when somebody flakes, and that's what it's called when you sign up and then you don't send a swap in. Now hosts have devised ways around that to sort of make up for it. If somebody flakes, they've figured out ways to make it so that the whole group doesn't suffer. But, just so you know, crafters take note of that. And if you're constantly flaking on swaps that you've signed up for, they're going to stop letting you sign up, or they're not going to want to swap with you, or you're going to get a bad reputation, okay? I have seen people talk about this in craft videos before, and I know that it happens. So make sure that if you're signing up, you have time to make it happen. I've asked people to join my swaps before, and they've said, I really want to, but I just don't think I'm going to have time. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that they are, utilizing some time management skills and that they're not going to get in over their heads, right? Like I said, most people nowadays, hosts, kind of make room for that, but don't sign up for stuff you don't have time for, especially if you're doing a one-on-one swap, okay? 100%. That person has put all that time and effort into making you something, and then you flake on it and you don't make yours, they're never going to swap with you again. And they're probably going to tell all their friends. So unless you just have a, family emergency or something really critical come up, we all understand when that happens, but, don't make it a habit, is all I'm going to say about that. Okay. So sign up for what you physically have time for. Let's see. If you do have to back out of a swap, let's say something has happened, unfortunately, something really awful, and you cannot do the swap, be sure that you let the hostess know ASAP so that they are aware and they can make arrangements for someone else to step in, or they can switch out the groups in a different way. Don't wait till the last minute to let them know, especially if you have, prior notice. I know if, something tragic happens, probably the last thing you're thinking about is a swap. But as soon as you do think about it, let the host know. Let's see. Watch swap videos. Okay, if you're going to be participating in swaps, especially if you haven't done any before, or, you're just wanting to get some information about it, watch other people's swap videos. You will learn so much from people, the way that they are describing the requirements, the way that they are unboxing the videos, all the instructions they're giving. You're going to learn a lot about how swaps work, what's expected, and what, a swap package should or should not look like. A lot of people will do videos when they set the requirements about, don't send this in and do send this in. And the reason they're doing that is because they've had people send in stuff that was subpar. And again, we're all at different levels of crafting skill, but you can tell when somebody's just slapped something together at the last minute and they didn't put any effort into it. Let's see. Follow the guidelines, including the deadlines. Don't be late. It is so difficult when you're hosting a swap and somebody is super, super late and you're holding the whole swap. Everybody wants to get their packages back, but the hostess can't send them back because they're waiting on somebody to send their swap in late. I've seen a lot of people just say, no, I'm not going to wait on you. We're just going to swap without you. And I totally understand, because sometimes you can wait a very long time for somebody to get around to sending their swap in. And again, I do understand that things come up and life happens, but just know that when you're sending something in late, everybody else is waiting on you. And again, you don't want to get that reputation. Package your items securely, prevent damage. You spent all that time working on something. You don't want it to be crushed and, just damaged in the mail. And we've all had that happen before. And so, write fragile on the outside. Package it really well with lots of packing paper and things like that. Make sure that your box is big enough to hold your swap. And so that it doesn't get damaged in the mail, because that has happened. And sometimes we can't prevent it, but, try to do what you can to package it well. Include some kind of a note, a thank you note, usually thanking the host for, hosting, and also any instructions. Sometimes, you'll say, okay, I made this one for you, the host, and it has your name on it. Or if you have some other kind of instructions, you can send. Sometimes people will send their money in their package, and so you would put that in the thank you card. Sometimes people will send a return address label. Again, do not share that on your YouTube reveal videos if you're hosting. Open cards up off camera. So if someone sends you a card in the mail and you're doing an unboxing video, take the card away from the camera to open it so that you can see if there's any private information in there that should not be shared in the video. But yeah, it's nice to send a little thank you note to the hostess, thanking them for hosting. And, typically you would, if you're sending your return money, you can put that in there. And then if you're sending a return label, you can put that in there. Okay. Another thing I do want to talk about is shipping. Okay. So, when you are participating in a swap, you're sending the packages to the host. If this is a group swap, you're sending the packages to the host, and then the host is going to divide everything up and then ship it back to you. So you need to send the host return shipping. And so, if you've participated in swaps, you know this. But if you're brand new to this, just be aware. You're supposed to send them whatever it costs to return the package back to you. Sometimes hosts will say it's X amount of dollars. I'm going to send it in a flat rate, such and such, and this is how much it's going to be. Sometimes they'll say, just send me whatever it costs you to send me the package in the first place. And you can send cash. You can send maybe a check. I don't know. You can send money digitally, you know, through PayPal or Venmo or whatever, whatever works out with the host. Okay, so typically you will send the return shipping though. So it can be pricey to participate in these swaps, right? You have to mail the package to the hostess, and then you have to pay for the hostess to mail the package back to you. So you're basically paying double postage. So just be aware that that is part of swapping in a group swap situation. Some people choose to do one-on-one swaps for that reason, because then you're only mailing one package to one place, and it's half the shipping cost, right? So keep that in mind. Pay close attention to those requirements. Let's see. Another thing I want to say is package swaps individually so that it's easy for the host. So if I'm going to send a swap, let's say, I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say this is my swap, right? Well, this is swap number 1. So I've put all the goodies that I've made in this bag, and I've packaged it up. And then I will have 3 of these if it's make 3, receive 3. So I'll have 3 of these that I'm going to send to the hostess. That way the hostess can just grab this one bag and know that this is going to someone. So try to package all of your swaps up individually so that, you know, all the goodies are in one package, or at least, you know, so as best you can. Sometimes that doesn't always work. Again, watch swap videos. You'll see what I mean. You'll see how other people are packaging their swaps to be mailed off. Okay. The next thing I want to say is be gracious. Thank the host and participants of the swaps that you receive. Remember that somebody put a lot of time and effort and work into what they sent you. Maybe their skill is not where yours is, but always be gracious and thankful for what was sent. You know, somebody worked really hard on that, and they're excited to see your reaction. I've never seen anybody be ungrateful, but I have seen some people make some comments that I thought, you know, that wasn't really a very nice thing for them to say about that particular item that somebody made. So I just want to throw that out there, right? The whole part is to be happy to share your craft, your skill, your hobby with somebody else. And I think that we just need to be very thankful and gracious for the things that have been made for us and sent to us, and to be sure to point out all of the really great things that somebody, you know, did to make that swap and to create that project. Okay, hopefully I've covered everything that I can think of. I personally really love swapping. I prefer group swaps. I prefer, you know, swapping for holidays and events that I really love. I usually host one every year around Halloween, but it is a private swap because I know that I cannot house all of those boxes and be able to coordinate a swap with tons of participants. So I personally just host a very small private swap each year. But I will say it's a very fun experience. I do want to say, you know, you do take some risk, right, when you agree to swap with somebody, especially individually. Make sure that you trust the person to send you a return swap. I have seen lots of people post online that they sent someone something and the person never sent a return swap. So there is some risk involved. So I would say swap with people that you trust, people that have, you know, a pretty solid social media presence, so that you can see that, yes, this person does create often and they are participating in swaps often. And you can see that, you know, for the most part, they're usually sending off their swaps and showing videos of receiving swaps. And you kind of get a feel for that person's reliability. But just know that there is some risk involved and that you do sort of have to decide if that's for you or not. But it's really fun experience. And I personally enjoy it. It's a great way for me to motivate myself to craft. It's also a great way for me to use the dies that are sent to me each month as part of my design team. Sometimes I get all these dies and I'm like, what am I going to make with all this? You know, I don't have enough people in my life to make stuff for and give away. And so swaps are a great outlet for that, right? I can share some of my crafts with those people around me that might appreciate something that I've made. And then in return, I'm going to receive something that they've made, and we can learn from each other and be inspired by each other. So, okay, that's my spiel. This is a super duper long video. It's going to take eternity for me to upload it, but I felt like there was so much stuff to cover. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. I love to read what you guys have to say, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Again, this is mostly for people who, you know, haven't swapped much or ever at all. You know, a lot of people who are pretty experienced will be like, yeah, I already know that. But again, hopefully this will help some of those who are hoping to get into this type of happy mail. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye.